so the key challenges, as I mentioned earlier with e-commerce, really is, can I trust this website? And you think about yourself, no matter whether you're buying something simple or something expensive, this website that I'm going to, can I actually trust it? You hear about all these horror stories and people losing money and sending money to the wrong place and phishing attacks and cyber attacks and whatever. You naturally are, whether you're dealing with a B2B customer, B2C customer, there's an element of trust that you've got to deal with. And that's your biggest barrier, regardless, when you start, is building that trust with the customer. The next part from a consumer perspective is, will I actually receive my item? So as a customer, if I buy it through this portal, will I actually receive it? Does the logistics work? Do they know where I live? These are all hesitations that customers have. And lastly, am I willing to actually make a payment online? Am I willing to enter my credit card details, my debit card details into this website? Because actually, I'm not too sure whether I'm going to, can I trust it? Will it be stolen? Will my details be stolen? And so these are all things that, when you're starting off in e-commerce, you have to consider and you have to solve for. And fortunately, obviously, on the last one, with MCB Bank being behind it, that payment piece and the payment gateways that they're going to be providing. And the first one is about the fact that we talk about omnichannel. Okay, what does omnichannel mean? It means that customers are educated. It means that they are engaging in different ways. Okay, and obviously the first one, which you all know, at the top left sort of corner over there, if you can see the red dot, is in store. Okay, we all shop in store, we buy things in store, we understand that. There are customers that are coming into your stores, into your environment, and they're purchasing. The next one, which has been a lesser-known trend, is on the go. So regardless of whether they're actually buying on their mobile today, I guarantee you they are looking on their mobile and they're searching for different items and different experiences. And when they're in your retail space, in your shop, in your restaurant, in your hotel, whatever it might be, guaranteed there are customers that are looking online through their mobile device. And so what's important to bear in mind is that you need to have an online presence, okay? That's fundamentally the starting point. If you don't have it, even if you can't not selling online, you've got to have an online presence because customers are looking for you online, okay? The next part, which is often overlooked, is call center. There are customers out there, and we saw this through and through in the early days of e-commerce in our country. Customers expect to speak to somebody. Even if you have an online presence, it doesn't mean that you don't need a call center or a point of contact through which a customer can actually talk to somebody. Because they might love your online presence, but they might still be too reluctant to actually make that purchase because they're just not sure. But if they speak to somebody at the other end of a phone line, they will then make that transaction. So don't underestimate the importance of having some point of contact at the other end of a phone. Obviously online, so that's a web portal. It's not a mobile portal. It's a computer. You've got to have that. Email. If I email somebody, I expect a response. I expect a quick response. And if all these things work, you're gonna get a bigger chance of actually converting. If I email a website and I don't get a response within a couple of minutes, I'm immediately questioning, is this website real? If I engage in one of these channels and I don't get a response or the response isn't favorable. So if I go online and it takes a minute for the page to load and it's not my internet connection, I'm going to question whether I can actually trust this website. Okay. And if I then look at social media, so Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, if I don't see your presence, if I make a comment or if I see the comments aren't being responded to, if I can't find you in those different mediums, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all these different social media platforms, I'm again going to ask that question. And so the important thing that I need to illustrate here is that it's not just about online. It's not just about e-commerce. It's not just about creating a website. It's about considering all these different channels and how are you present in those different channels? How are you serving your customer in those different channels? If there's any one of those missing, I would argue that, and you're dealing with end consumers, I would argue, or even other B2B kind of customers, I would argue that you maybe are missing something. Because in the connected world that we live in, customers expect all that, unfortunately. And it doesn't mean that you have to have physical people behind phones, but you have to have a response or way to react in some form or another.